Recording in progress. Right.
Okay.
So, hang on. Are we there?
I'm here.
Okay. So you might have to cut that bit at the beginning because clearly we might want to record from the start. Do you want to stop and start again?
No, I'll just I'll try and edit.
Okay, so it's a bit of role reversal for us because obviously you're usually the one asking the questions and I'm usually the one chatting about vaginas and menopause and things like that. But today we've got you in the hot seat and we are going to talk about you for a change. And I know you love that.
Oh, go on.
But everybody wants to know about Lindsey. Everybody wants to know why, where, how. So straight away, let's get straight into it. Please tell the people who don't know who Lindsey Stevens is. Who Lindsey Stevens is.
Oh God, it's a bit boring, but I'll start at the beginning. So first and foremost, I'm an absolute magazine geek. So my life revolves around magazines, and you're right, I'm often interviewing people, etc. So publisher, editor, publisher of the female Boss magazine. Have obviously also launched red carpet weddings in the past, so done a few magazines of my own. But I guess what we want to talk about a little bit more today is my founder experience with the Veda Woman brand. So yeah,
we do, but you're jumping ahead of me. God, I was all over it then. I had a little plan in my head because I'm trying to be a journalist. I'm trying to be professional.
Okay.
Go on then, forget it. Go on, tell us what made you leap from journalist to the founder of Veda Woman. What made that happen?
Well, I still do all things magazines, obviously, because that's the first and foremost passion that I like to be involved in. So I'll kind of never stop doing that, I don't think. As long as people are reading, I'll be writing. But 2023, I think now I can look back with clarity that I was definitely in the throes of my perimenopause, which was lovely for me. And I was suffering with a symptom that is not talked about that much. And I thought I was going a bit stir crazy. So in my usual typical Lindsey Stevens style, I tried to self-diagnose and find myself a product rather than going to the doctors. And I just simply couldn't find anything, Gemma. I just couldn't find a product that talked to me. Either they were suppository, or they were gunky, or they were gel, or they were hormones, or they had all nasty kinds of shite in them. So I
just stop you 1 second there, because you said in my normal Lindsey Stevens style. Not everybody knows this, but actually Lindsey Stevens style basically means she doesn't like using anything that isn't natural. She doesn't like taking antibiotics. She doesn't like doing things until she's tried about 25 holistic ways. And then she will maybe go to a medical way. So when she says that, she means natural ways.
Yeah, absolutely right. I barely take a paracetamol. I manage 27 and a half hours of labor with no pain relief whatsoever. So yeah, I don't show it off. I don't get, listen, it wasn't easy, but I don't usually take the straight to the doctor's approach. You're right. So I thought if I go to the doctors, they will give me some sort of hormone cream, and that was not what I wanted. So off I went onto Google, as you do.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google.
Not advised by either of those, by the way.
Or no, not endorsed by us, no. So I thought I would have a look and see if there was something product, but they were lubricants, names that sounded like orgasm cream. It wasn't talking to me, and I suddenly just thought, I got the bit between my teeth, Gemma, and I thought, do you know what? I'll just bloody create my own, as you do,
as she does.
As I do. I just thought, if it's not there, just make it, right? So what did I even know about bloody launching a product? Absolutely nothing. So I started off down that road and got hyper-focused on finding out how I could do that. So so that's where the journey started. I thought, well, how do you go about even making a product? So you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. So I started on that road in 23.
So you've decided, obviously, in Lindsey style, you're going to make this product. I take it was dead easy. You just told somebody to throw some stuff in a pot, and there it was. It happened.
No, I wish it was. I wish it was
that journey.
Because that would have been just lovely, wouldn't it? Listen, hi, Mr. Scientist, formulator man. Could you please just make me this? No, I kind of.
Did you have a scientist on speed dial?
The guy was sick of me, let me tell you. I don't think he's a scientist, but he's a formulator. And but I needed to do a bit of research first, as you know, which is where I called you in for help, because as we both know, women don't really want to discuss their vaginas in much detail, or even say the word vagina, so they don't even want to say it. So I called you in for some help. So you helped me do some research, and we put it out anonymously to customers who maybe had previously used your services or that you knew of. And it was overwhelming, that response. When we did that research and let them leave their name off, they were open and honest about whether they were suffering. And we've talked about the symptom. Let's just go down a bit more detail. During that hormone decrease in your system during perimenopause, you can suffer with vaginal dryness, vaginal atrophy, lots of itching and irritation, and it's not discussed often. So many women will be, accusing the man of being elsewhere, or they'll just be going stir crazy with this heat itch system going on in between the legs. I didn't want to do that, so I openly discussed this with my partner and wanted it to be a problem that we solved. And while I'm talking about vaginal dryness, let's not get, I don't need to tell you this, obviously, because but for those who are listening, vaginal dryness, i.e. not being able to have sex and be lubricated, is slightly different to what we're talking about here. So obviously I wasn't going to reach for a water-based lubricant. So we did the research. Overwhelming response to say, oh God, yeah, I've suffered with that. Because they didn't have to give their names in, they were open and honest. So I found that it wasn't as uncommon as I maybe first thought. So I started looking at other products, what was in them. Some of them have even got salt in and alcohol. And it's just, I was like, what? I'm no medical professional, but I knew that those things weren't going to work. So
but some of those things, because I don't think I even realized this until I started speaking to you, those those moisturizers, whatever they're calling them, the medical ones with the salt in, are actually available on prescription. So if you had gone to your doctor and said, that's what you would have got, some salt, shove that in your not moist area, and that'll make it really dry, won't it?
So, crazy. And it blows my mind, because I really got the bit between my teeth and feel really passionate about this, because that is exactly the point. You go to the doctors, you assume what they give you is going to solve your problem, because that's what we've always been taught, right? No questions asked.
Doctor knows best.
So I just thought, no, actually, I don't want to put that on my intimate areas. So I started down the road of making sure that all of the ingredients were nourishing to the skin, were safe to use on those intimate parts, and all the rest of it. And then we had back and forth with a couple of tests, because the first sample that came back was just not, it was more like a butter, and it just wasn't as comfortable. I wanted it to feel more luxurious. I didn't want it to be uncomfortable whilst you were kind of wearing it. But since the beginning of that journey to now, as you no doubt know, because you hear me harp on about it quite regularly, blows my mind, that women get out the shower, top to toe moisturizer, nothing with the vagina bit. It's the life-giving part of our body, right? Why are we not looking after it? So some women didn't even know what vulva was, which was also pretty crazy. And so eventually, after 12 long months or a bit more, we got the formulation right. And the other key point for this was the bottle and how to use it. So the bottle.
The bottle.
And how you use it, because obviously we're not used to rubbing creams and potions and lotions on our vaginas or vulvas. So we needed to make it as easy as possible. So the one product I did find that I quite liked just wasn't easy to use. So this product is in a airless pump, so you can see when it's running out. One pump will do the job, 2 pumps, great. No more than that. That's all you need. Otherwise you'll be.
So I can vouch for that, because actually I thought in the very beginning when you were asking me about it, this is not enough. You can't be using just 1 or 2 pumps. You've got to get 3 or 4 on the go. And I remember trialing it on my hand and saying to you, Lindsey, I don't like this. This is oily. This is greasy. And I'm sorry, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to endorse this with anybody. And you were like, try it down, try it down on your vulva. It's much different. I think you might have even said try it down there at first, but try it down on your vulva. It's completely different. And I've got to hold my hands up and say, the skin is completely different. Obviously, we know that. And it does not need 5 pumps on your vulva. That's like a slip and slide that you don't need.
That's the wrong type of,
That's the wrong type. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my. So we're off on a tangent because Gemma's here. So now we've got this luxurious product, and this luxurious pump dispenser. I take it, we just stick it on a shelf and people buy it.
Yeah, again, Gem, if it was only that easy, I'm sure I'd be stocked in all the major retailers by now. So no, it's a slow burn because it's a problem, if that's what we want to call it, for want of a better.
No, it's a horrible word, problem, isn't it?
Problem. It's an issue. It's a symptom of menopause that not many people are talking about. So when you try and take that to market, it's difficult, right? So you start on your socials thinking, go lightly, don't go big. It frightens me to think, of being in boots, as people always keep asking me about that.
Why does that frighten you though?
Because it's a whole different ball game when you start getting into major retailers, which again I've only learned over the last maybe 6 to 12 months. You need quantities off the scale. If suddenly Boots call up and say, can we stock your product and we want to put you in 100 stores, can you imagine how much supply I would need to have? And then they take a much bigger margin than if you're selling it in independent retailers or on your own website, etc. They take a bigger margin. So all of that needs to be factored in, and that would absolutely take an investor to come on board. It just simply would.
Because I know that everybody that has trialed this in the trial stages loved it.
Absolutely.
And I think, I want to say 2 weeks ago, but it might have been 2 months ago now. I was at another event, and there was a lady there who said to me, I don't know if we're supposed to drop names of brands in. Anyway, I won't.
Yeah.
I won't. I'll say, oh yes, I've got a prescription, she said to me, from the doctors, and I'm using it, and it's a little bit better. And then I sort of spoke to her and said, but it only lasts for a day or two. And I was like, well, I think that's because there's some ingredients in there, but I'm not the expert to speak to here. Try this Veda Woman and V-hydrate. And she changed her life in that day. And I know that other people have gone from using what I always used to suggest, which was the clear aloe vera, not the plant, not the leaf.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I would ever endorse. And I've got people who have gone from using that to, I don't use that daily anymore, and now use the V-hydrate maybe every other day or so. And I'm like, well, get it used every day. You can't overdo it. If it's making you better, use it. So I know that the market is there. It's just too big right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just a kind of it's road mapping the plan of action. So we got it on TikTok shop. It was like trying to send your fingerprints in and your DNA to get on there. So we've sold a couple of bottles on TikTok shop, and the ones that we've sold. Where we've sold the most is on our own website. Now that website needs development. It needs some more information on. It was kind of, let's get it up and see what the market is. But you need to do a really big marketing campaign. I mean, I'm in advertising, right? So I agree that you should be doing that marketing. It's just a case of getting that right, putting the roadmap out. We see adverts on the telly now for all kinds of things, and sometimes they make me cringe. So we're all using sanitary towels, clearly, right? Because we're women. But some of the adverts, it's just like, it just takes it a step too far. So bringing those things into the forefront, conversations, doing the Vagina Dialogue event that we did was a small step into kind of getting people to open up and talk about it. And all of the things that I've learned during this process are just blowing my mind. There's definitely a need to openly talk about vaginal health more. I'm sure you agree. And
I do.
There's definitely women who want to know about it. It's just kind of picking them out the woodwork and trying to find a way to do that. I think the next step would be, more events talking about vaginas, vaginal health and women's health in general, but also independent stockists, so kind of upmarket salons, people who are doing other vaginal treatments. Dr. Kieran Lord, as you know, endorses the product. He's got a clinic, so it's a slowly catch the monkey situation, unless of course a big investor comes in and gets me into boots,
and then you would go.
If I've got somebody,
somebody to do all that extra stuff behind you because you're far too busy bossing it. Yeah, no, fair enough. So I think with menopause month coming up, is that not a good time to, I don't want to say promote, because promote's not the right word. I don't like telling people that they should buy a product, but promote the fact that it can help you.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I think it's a perfect time. And I guess I've just got to get out, be more visible, talk about it more, and find people who are open for me to go talk about it. And it's an education. So you're right, promote is a difficult word. This is genuinely a product that will help women feel better, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. I use it all the time now, but then behind that, so I think I've like ticked a box. I've created a product of my own that's helping other women.
That's massive on its own.
Yeah, it's a tick in the
be proud,
so that's good. But it's also the education, because we don't know enough about our bodies. I'm sure you'll back me up on that. We don't, women in general don't know enough about their bodies and how they work. I mean, I didn't know there was 5 types of collagen in your vagina until you told me, Gemma.
I know, that's my little thing. Did you know? Yeah. And everybody's like, really? But why don't we know? We don't know because we're not told about these things in school. We're not educated about them young. And so it's a bit late for us. I'm not going to lie, Lindsay, it's a bit late for us to go back there now. But getting the products such as the V-hydrate out on the shelves. So when you're out shopping with your kids, they go, oh, what's this? My 9-year-old now, she could tell you all about menopause, all about periods, or in fact, she can even tell you about V-hydrate, because she loves the fact that she asked me if she could borrow it the other day and put it on her face. And it was only when I explained it to her, she was like, oh, no, thank you. not for me, mummy.
It looks like a little face serum, and that's what we wanted to do with it. Empower
it can sit on the shelf, can't it? Yeah.
It could sit next to your L'Oreal all night serum or whatever it is people use these days. But yeah, it could definitely do that. But there's talking about children, going back to that point, it's a fair point, because the part of the research I read showed that if young girls and boys are not using the correct anatomical word for their private part, shall we say, they're more susceptible to be groomed or be sexually assaulted, which is horrific. That's a horrific piece of information to read, because and let me just say for the record, your private part should be private. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but what I'm saying is, if we are just, mum, that man touched my vagina, it's clear as day. If we're doing the tabooing at home, and it's too late, my kids are 19 and 21 now, and we did have a name. We didn't say vagina. If I knew then what I know now, I'd have been calling it vagina every day, all day, every day, But if we're keeping it taboo and it's all like, oh, pop, cover yourself up, to whatever. If we're making it like that at home, then if something happens outside the home, they're not going to be as open to come back and talk about it in the way that they should. So it's a real, like, a one-woman mission to educate the world about it. Yeah.
I don't think you're a one-woman mission. I think there's lots of people out there. I think it's getting all those people in the right. I mean, I'm absolutely there.
You are.
I don't know until I watch the Teletubbies that a Nunu is a machine that sucks up telly custard. I thought it was a Nunu. So once upon a time, that's what it was called. Yeah. So a machine that sucks up telly custard and your Nunu, they could be very much confused. But yeah, again, tangent. So there are lots of people out there. I think there's lots of menopause women out there, menopausal women, but also menopause coaches. There's, like vaginal waxers that will be helping to educate people. We just need all those women in the room. And like I say, with menopause month coming up, I think that's ideal. Maybe you should get yourself on a stage, get out there, my menopause journey.
And talk in my Scouse dulcet tones on the stage. Imagine. But
I can get subtitles.
Slow it down for everybody to listen. But I think, I probably should, Gemma. You're probably right. I just need.
I'm always right.
I know this. Oh, I don't know why I said that. So I think, yes, it's definitely a good time. It's for people to be more open about it. If you look at the products, in question, the prescription product, for example, that's obviously come from a big pharma company who've got, hundreds of thousands of pounds
rolling in it
to push forward. And I just feel like a very small voice in a very busy arena, but that doesn't make me any less passionate about it. It's,
absolutely not. So something that you said earlier, I just want to make our voices bigger. You said you spoke to your partner about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for people who are listening, reading, watching, whatever, however they find out about you and your V-hydrate product, how would you advise them to talk to their partners? Let's say, for example, it's a man or same-sex partner who isn't suffering with the vaginal dryness and the vulva dryness. How would you get them to approach their partner to try and help them out?
I mean, for me, we've always been pretty open and honest. So there's no. First of all, just get away from the shame or embarrassment, right? Because it's happening to so many people. So don't worry, don't feel ashamed. If you've not had an open and honest relationship, communication with your partner in the past, it's going to be slightly more difficult, right? Because famous situation, Halle Berry, for example, was on the Drew Barrymore show recently talking about how she'd manifest this beautiful man into her life. She was 50 plus or whatever she is, looking 20 by the way, but she had got this man into her life later on in life, and she just thought, brilliant, I can't believe I finally found this god of a man. And they had started their relationship, and it was obviously become sexual, and she woke up one morning and she was like, oh my god. And her first thought, as a lot of women might be, was, I've been having sex with this man, I don't know where he's been, he's a new partner, what the hell, have I caught something, is it bad? And she openly talks about it, because if she's like itching off, she's thinking, God, what's going on? So she found out that she was suffering with exactly the same thing, and she uses a device. I didn't get in early enough to get V-hydrate to Halle Berry, but there's time yet.
She's listening. Halle, pop over.
Do you want a bottle of V-hydrate? Because I'll gladly.
You want a bottle of V-hydrate?
So as immediately as it started to happen to me, just literally, because I don't want any shame, no embarrassment, it's happening to me. So, so we don't have to keep that from our partners, because a lot of women I've spoken to in a lot of forums on Facebook, etc., are like, oh, my husband wants sex and it's just so uncomfortable, but, and they're doing it anyway. Absolutely.
Yeah,
not.
just doing it anyway.
No, absolutely not. So, because my relationship with my husband is still very healthy, I'd have to say, listen, I'm a bit, uncomfortable or whatever. So we started to discuss it in that way. I just literally laid it on the table and said, this is how I was feeling and this is what was happening to me. And he said, okay. And he's more anal than me when it comes to ingredients. So it was great to have him,
that's good, an advocate.
Yeah, to kind of bounce that off or whatever. So
and just to clarify there, you're talking about the vulva dryness,
yes,
not the dryness when it comes to sex, where you could get your water-based lubes, or you could literally nip down to, I was going to name some shops, but I'm not getting sponsored, so I'm not doing it. Any one of those shops on the high street, anybody wants to sponsor me, I'll drop your name in. But any one of those shops on the high street and pick up that lubricant. This is not a lubricant, is it? By any stretch of imagination.
If we're talking, if we're going to be frank on this with this conversation, by using the V-hydrate, so that was helping all the skin around the vulva area, labia, that was helping that to just like be replenished, not as dry, not as itchy, which in turn
plumping it again.
Yeah, which in turn made made sex easier, because I'm not, what happens with the water-based lubricants is you'll lube up, right? You'll have your sex, everything, he'll be happy, jobs are good, and you move on. Tomorrow you're going to be in the same situation. Whereas if you keep
bandage,
it's literally like your face. If you keep it moisturized, if you keep it hydrated, it will look better for longer. It's exactly the same with the vagina. So, it's kind of skincare for down there.
Oh, there's a tagline. Skincare for down there. You can have that.
Well, I got it off Dr. Kieran Lord. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, did you? Well, then, Dr. Kieran, thank you very much. That is a strap line that is happening now. Skincare for down there that you can use daily.
You can use daily, absolutely. It will interfere with nothing. It's absolutely fine. And it's all natural ingredients, so you don't need to worry about it.
And if people want to get their skincare for down there, see what I did there? How can they find you and how can they get this?
Well, if they are crazy enough to do TikTok, Gemma, then they can obviously go on TikTok shop. But you'll see we've got an Instagram at Veda Woman, which is kind of paused at the moment. We're not doing anything with it because we do really just need a plan of action to move forward. There's obviously a TikTok page as well, so they can get it on there. But if they go to vedawoman.co.uk, they can buy the V-hydrate on there. That website won't be winning any awards anytime soon. It needs developing. But my ambition for the Veda Woman brand, overarching brand, is to create more products that will help women of a certain age, because, you know, I don't use deodorants because it's toxic, right? So I don't use it at all. Robbie doesn't use it either. So I would really love to be adding products to that range that are helping women, you know, if they're full of night sweats but they don't want to use a toxic deodorant. I'd love to create something that helped with that, and so the list goes on. You know how my mind works, right? It's full of things.
I do, yeah. There's about 50 books out there that have all been started. But so in a nutshell, can I say Veda Woman is basically built for any woman who is menopausal, and at some stage in the future, anything you need when you're a menopausal woman will be in the Veda Woman range, hopefully.
I'd like to think so, Gemma, yeah. But I think with the, rather than pigeonholing just for menopause, it happened to me on my perimenopause journey that I'm still working through now. But let's think about when your hormone levels drop, right? So for the V-hydrate product, your hormones are dropping when you're pregnant, postpartum, or, you know, so it's not exclusive for perimenopausal women, but it is, you know, it's where it's probably needed most. But if you're pregnant and you can massage that oil in down there, I'm sure it will help things, you know.
So it's safe to use in pregnancy?
Yeah,
oh, so I need to change it then. So it's not for anybody who's menopausal. It's basically once you've got out of your teenage years, why not get started then?
Get started, yeah, definitely.
Can we get it in our cougar adolescence? I've just heard that and I like it instead of menopause. But we are going to stick to real names. So yeah. Okay. So it's for anybody who's past puberty, really.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. So, you know, it look after your vagina like you look after the skin on your face, and it won't do you far wrong.
Love it. Thank you. So one more thing. It's a female boss, as you are, and you are a female boss. So tell people, I've lost my question now. No, I was going to say, tell people what it's like being a female boss prior to Veda Woman V-hydrate and after Veda Woman V-hydrate. What difference does it make in your boss life? That was my perimenopausal then, forgetting.
Perimenopausal brain, that's fine because we all get it, right? Brain fog. And I was suffering really bad with brain fog. So I had a really big corporate job in 2023 and I thought I was going stir crazy. I thought I was stressed. And it was an absolute distraction. Having an uncomfortable situation going on in my body was not great. So not only was I full of brain fog, you know, the sweats were incredible. I mean, I'm still hot all the time now. So it was not helping me think straight. I had a really big corporate job, like I say. I thought there was lots of personal stresses going on in my life, family. So, you know, mum's got dementia, my sister was terminally ill. I just thought that I was
time.
Yeah, I just thought, like, I'm stressed, pull your big girl pants on, get on with it. But this was an absolute distraction. And I think what I've now done is creating that product has not only given me my confidence back in terms of, you know, I'm not constantly thinking about an itch or, you know, being uncomfortable sitting in a board meeting, etc. It's also given me confidence in another way that I like, God, I created a product, you know, I did that on my own, and it helps with things. It helps with things going forward. And now I just do things on my terms. I do them the way I want to do them, and it just, you know, gives me a bit of sass.
Gives you a bit. I love that. It gives you a bit of sass.
Yeah.
Wow. There we are. Thank you very much. I'm gonna press stop on this in a minute, but thank you for talking to me. I think it's amazing. I do endorse your Veda Woman V-hydrate. I do love it personally. I do now tell everybody to use it rather than the previous aloe vera that I was telling them. I'm not promoting it because I get paid. I just am promoting it because I love it. And so everybody else who's thinking that it's taboo to talk about menopause and talk about vaginas, we are proof that it is not. And yeah, thanks for talking to me today. let's
Thank you.
look in for the future and get more women involved.
Let's
if you want to talk to Lindsey, then connect with her. Do it.
Do it. Thanks, Gemma.
Do it. Bye.
Bye.